They say New Orleans sings with jazz, but in its darker corners exist notorious criminals of ghosts, of shadows, and of a boy who seemed to be both. Kendall Miles wasn't born a criminal. He was born into chaos. In the low-lit neighborhoods of New Orleans, where opportunity is scarce and violence is currency, Kendall's childhood was marked not by innocence, but by survival. Raised in an environment where sirens often sang lullabies and streetlights flickered like warnings, his world was one of locked doors and broken systems. He wasn't yet a teenager when he first walked through the gates of Bridge City Center for Youth, a juvenile facility that smelled of bleach and hopelessness. It wasn't punishment, it was education. He learned to watch, to wait, and to study the people who kept him caged. His first escape wasn't just an impulsive run. It was a carefully plotted move by a kid who'd grown up memorizing routine and anticipating failure. The locks were old, the guards were distracted, and Kendall slipped away as if the walls had never been there. That breakout lit the fuse. From that moment on, he became something else. Less a boy, more a symbol. To some, he was a menace. To others, a myth. He was quick, unpredictable, and always 3 steps ahead. By the summer of 2022, Kendall was 17 and had evolved from a runaway to a calculated criminal. The anger that simmered beneath his surface had become something cold and strategic. Alongside 16-year-old Kayla Smith, another teen caught in the machinery of poverty and disillusion, he executed a violent robbery that would leave a lasting scar on the city. The target was Scott Toops, a 59-year-old man delivering Mardi Gras beads, a simple task that ended in gunfire. Kendall shot him twice, stole his car, and disappeared. It was over in seconds. But for Scott and his wife, Stacy, time shattered. The legal system responded swiftly, but stumbled just as fast. Prosecutors failed to meet a crucial deadline to transfer Kendall's case to adult court. The charges: attempted second-degree murder, armed robbery, were dismissed. The system that had once caged Kendall now set him free, not through justice, but by technicality. For the victims, it was a gut punch. For Kendall, it was confirmation that escape wasn't just possible, it was inevitable. Fast forward to May 2025. Kendall was once again behind bars, this time in the Orleans Parish Justice Center, a place so neglected it seemed to beg for disaster. The building, worn and weary, was held together by rust, routine, and resignation. Kendall didn't just serve time, he took notes. He watched how the guards operated, listened to whispered complaints about faulty locks and blind spots, and cataloged every broken camera and every moment of staff negligence. The conditions were ripe for catastrophe. Guards were stretched thin, often missing from their posts. On Kendall's floor, 2 deputies were tasked with overseeing volatile inmates, one of whom was known to vanish for food breaks, leaving the block unattended. That negligence gave Kendall what he needed: opportunity. In the early hours of May 16th, 2025, Kendall and 9 other inmates executed what would become one of the boldest escapes in New Orleans history. At precisely 12:23 a.m., they breached a compromised cell door, masked their movement with blankets, and removed a rusted toilet to access the guts of the jail itself. Crawling through a pipe chase slick with mildew, they made their way to a utility closet and burst through to the loading dock. One last lock, one final climb using stack crates, and they were gone. A city known for its ghosts now had 10 new ones. When the head count came up short, the city's leadership scrambled to explain the unexplainable. Sheriff Susan Hudson admitted the breach required inside help. Investigators uncovered damning failures. Inmates with access to industrial tools, cameras that hadn't worked in months, and chronic understaffing that left entire blocks vulnerable. The jail, already notorious, became a national embarrassment. Graffiti left behind taunted authorities. Too easy, LOL, and we innocent. The system hadn't just failed. It had collapsed. New Orleans exploded in outrage. Politicians pointed fingers, and 3 jail employees were suspended. The media swarmed the story, portraying the escape as both a scandal and a symptom of deep, festering problems in the city's infrastructure. But while bureaucrats argued, the manhunt was already underway. Federal agents, state troopers, and local police joined forces in a search that spanned every street, every alley, and every back porch. Project NOLA surveillance network lit up with activity, tracking movements, scanning faces, and flagging stolen vehicles. Kendall, ever the escape artist, ducked into abandoned buildings, stole drinks from convenience stores, and disappeared in the crowds. But this time, the city was watching too closely. Eventually, a Project NOLA technician spotted a blurry figure on a rooftop near the French Quarter. Law enforcement swarmed the Hotel Monteleone, a beacon of elegance now caught in a manhunt. Kendall, crouched beneath a rental car in the parking garage, heard the muffled thunder of boots above him. Within seconds, tactical teams surrounded him. The boy who once outwitted a system built to contain him was out of moves. There were no more pipes to crawl through, no more walls to scale. His story had finally caught up to him. In the end, Kendall Miles wasn't just another inmate. He was a reflection of everything the system ignored: poverty, broken institutions, missed chances, and unchecked rage. His life, like his jailbreak, wasn't just a crime. It was a cry for a city to take a hard look at itself. And in the silence that followed his capture, the question remained: how many more Kendalls are waiting in the shadows? Subscribe to our channel to get updated daily now.